Okay, so we just got done working on how to take an improper fraction and turning it into a mixed number. Now we're going to take a mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction. So let me get my document camera up and going. Okay, so we're going to start out with the mixed number of 1 1/2, and we want to take this and turn it into an improper fraction. So I'll show you. The math is very simple on these. I'm just going to take my denominator, I'm going to multiply it by my whole number, and then I'm going to add my numerator. The answer that I will get will become my new numerator, and just like previously as we discussed, my denominator is not going to change. It's going to stay 2. So let's take our denominator, 2. I'm going to multiply it by my whole number, 1, and I get an answer of 2. I'm then going to take that 2, add it to my numerator, and I get 3. So 3 becomes my new numerator, and again, my denominator is going to stay 2. So the answer is 3/2. When you take the mixed number of 1 1/2 and you turn it into an improper fraction, the answer we got was 3/2. Now we can check our work to make sure that this is correct. And in order to do that, we're just going to take 3/2. We'll do the math we learned earlier about taking an improper fraction. We're going to turn it into a whole or a mixed number, and as long as we get 1 1/2, we know that we did our math correctly. So let's try that real quick. Let's check our work. So we're going to take this improper fraction of 3/2, and just like we discussed earlier, in order to turn this into a mixed number, we're going to take our denominator and we're going to divide it into our numerator. So I know that 2 will go into 3 one time. When I do my simple math, I find that I was correct, that I did my math correctly. 1 becomes my whole number, my denominator staying 2, and my new numerator is 1. So when I took this improper fraction and I reversed the math to make sure that I was correct, the mixed number that I got was 1 1/2, which was what my original problem was. So that's a nice simple way that you can check your math to make sure that your work's correct. Let's try another one really quick. So the next one that we'll work on is 3 3/4. This is a mixed number, and we want to turn it into an improper fraction. Again, the math of doing that is really simple. I'm just going to take my denominator, and I'm going to multiply it by my whole number, and then add my numerator. So 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to add my numerator, which is 3, and I get 15. My denominator is not going to change. I'm bringing it over here, and my new numerator is 15. So my answer, when I take 3 3/4 and I turn it into an improper fraction, my answer is 15/4. Again, I want to check my work just to make sure I did that correctly. So I'll take this 15/4 and I will reverse it back into a mixed number. So 4, see how many times it will go into 15. I know that 4 will go into 15 3 times. Do my simple math, and yay, once again, we were correct. My answer is 3 3/4. So I know that I did my original math correctly. Now again, with this, when you're working your problems for this class, and I ask for you to take a mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction, you will be able to stop right here. This is your answer. But if you just wanted to check your work to make sure you got it correctly, then you would just take that number, plug it in into, turn it into a whole number, and if you come up with the same whole numbers, then you know you did the math correctly. However, just again to point out, this is our answer. Let's try just a couple of more. This time we won't check our work. We're just going to end when we get our improper fraction. So with this one, we have 2 5/6, and I just want to take that mixed number and I want to turn it into an improper fraction. So again, remember your simple math. You're going to take 6 times 2, or your denominator times your whole number. That gives you 12. Then you're going to add your numerator. Gives you 17. So your answer is 17/6. Again, denominator just comes right on over and remains the same. And the result of this math down here, this 17, becomes my new numerator. And now we'll just do one more. Sometimes when students start working with higher numbers, all of a sudden they get a little bit of intimidation. But don't. This is still, even though we're working with a number 100, it's still the same math. So I'm going to take this denominator and I'm going to multiply it by my whole number. So 100 times 3 is 300. And then I'm just going to add that numerator, add 7, and it gives me an answer of 307. My denominator is not going to change. My new numerator is 307. And that's just what your answer will be, 307/100. So again, if you have any questions or go through your workbook, go through the student resources on the Evolve website, and if you have any other questions on turning this mixed number into an improper fraction, just call or email me.